Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the SH Figuarts Naruto Shippuden Sasuke figure. You guys know from before, I know absolutely nothing about Naruto other than this guy's one of the main characters, I guess. So there's that, and then I know that my customer slash friend sent this to me to review it, so I'm going to review it for you guys. A lot of you asked me to do that a while ago. I literally just got this guy out of the package, and so obviously I don't know much about it. So you're going to be getting this review as I find stuff out about it, so you'll get my honest response slash reaction type situation going on here. So let's look at the height first. He stands about 5 3/4 inches tall, which puts him at 14.5 centimeters roughly. And first glance, it looks weird. I don't know much about the character. The face doesn't look, I don't know if it looks accurate or not. It doesn't seem like it does, but I don't know. But the body just looks weird. The way they put it together, those shoulders, very, very strange design for those shoulders. Very strange indeed. The skirt, I don't know. We'll get to the details of the figure in a second. Let's look at accessories. First of all, we have fist hands here, so count those. Then we have a solemn face, and we have an angry face with red eyes. That angry face with red eyes looks way better than the other one, but like I said, maybe it's accurate. We also get alternate hair, which is slightly windswept, so I guess you're supposed to use that with the angry face, probably. It seems like a good choice. I'll put photos at the end. Yeah, it definitely goes with that face. So I'll do photos at the end so you can see them in action. So those are the fist hands. Then we have these hands here. I don't know what those are called, but we have one for each side. Then we have jazz hands for each side. Then we have a sword holding hand for the right side. Then we have crazy hands for either side. And we have the please may I have some hands for both sides also. Then we have the sword that I mentioned. It does not come out of the sheath for this version, so that's just a hunk of plastic that looks like a sword in a sheath. And then we actually get the sword, which looks pretty good. They did a nice job detailing the blade. And then we also get the scabbard or the sheath. It's not usable, it's just for posing purposes, but it's nice that they included it. And then we also get his Shoryuken Kamehameha Dragon Punch accessory. I don't know what that's supposed to look like, if anything. Maybe like it's Spiky Turtle Punch, that's what it is, I think. And it's blue. It's really nicely translucent blue, other than where they connected the two pieces. You can see there's kind of like a piece here and a piece here. Where those are glued, there's a big white spot. So that looks pretty janky. Really janky. They should have not done that, because it looks really good otherwise. The way the blue is crystally, it looks really cool. Oh well, that glue disappoints. But what are you going to do? Alright, so as far as the figure goes, there's a lot of shading on him. There's a lot of black on the blues. So much so that the black blends in with the blue a lot. Like down here, the pants are blue. These things are black, it looks like. I'm not sure if these are supposed to be blue with a lot of shading, or if they're supposed to be black and then the blue has too much black shading. It's just strange. I'm not sure what's going on there. Then there's a fair amount of shading on the gray part. Also, the zipper is painted well, so that's a nice touch. He's got blue shading on his hair around the top. And then he's got a Pokeball on the back, which is also painted well. Maybe it's a maraca. I'm not sure entirely, but it's cat hair. Can't get it. Alright, so paintwork seems okay. Let's look at the articulation. So the head is on basically a standard SH Figuarts ball hinge, slightly modified, but effectively it's the same thing. So we have pretty good range of motion for the head. Neck is on a ball peg, so you can move that head around just fine. His neck does seem pretty long. Maybe they lengthened it to account for the really stiff, it should be soft plastic, but it's not collar. Or maybe just has a long neck, but it's a very feminine neck. Now for the shoulders, there's a ball peg, it looks like, that connects the shoulder hinge, this hinge here, to the body, and then this is just a cap, kind of like they do on most of their figures. But it doesn't, the ball peg itself barely moves around at all. So that's really weird. And then for the hinge part, what? We can't use that hinge barely at all because of the way this is sculpted. It bumps up against that. We have an SH Figuarts Mario problem going on where the sculpt doesn't actually look that good, and then it hinders the articulation significantly. So that's not good. I imagine this guy's supposed to be kind of like a ninja of some sort, or at least a martial artist of some sort, so not being able to raise his arm, not so good. We do get a bicep swivel, but that's also pretty much useless. That's it. Let's look at the elbows. That's weird. His bicep has a tumor. Very odd joint design for that elbow. Does it work well? No. You can kind of make it work, but it doesn't want to work. That top joint doesn't want to do anything. This bottom joint works a little bit. I mean, it works fine. So I guess that's okay. Let's see if it works on this side. Bottom joint works. Top joint, nothing happening. So bad design. Really, really bad design. Ugly. Doesn't work. Bad elbow. What about the wrists? Standard ball hinge, so that's fine. And then the wrists are just gonna swap, or the hands are just gonna swap out on a peg, so no problem there. Torso articulation, probably a double ball peg in the upper torso, and it seems to move pretty well. And then it feels like the lower torso is on a single ball peg, but considering he's got this giant thing tied around his waist, the torso moves fairly well. No real complaints there. Now this giant thing isn't hinged or anything, it's just semi-soft plastic in multiple pieces. This is on a double ball peg, so that can move, which I guess is good, but and maybe they didn't have a choice. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with the design of the character, but it feels like they could have done something more effective, because this giant skirt, potato sack, I don't know, whatever it is, thing, it's, forget about posing the legs. Just forget about it, because that's all you're going to get, is this right here. We technically have the hinged ball pegs in there, so you can drop the leg down to give him the better range of motion, but where are you going to put it? Unless you like put it straight out the side and split the skirt thing, that's all you're really going to be able to do. So that kind of sucks. You do get that ball peg in there with the socket and then the thigh swivel around the socket, but like I said, you're not going to be able to use it, so don't worry about it. The knees, double jointed knees, very ugly. They didn't sculpt the knee work at all. It just doesn't look good. Well, guys, so far this Naruto figure looks like, even if you are a Naruto fan, you probably don't want to buy it. Let's see about the ankles. Ankles work fairly well. We get decent range of motion out of them, so that's good. Yeah, the ankles are probably the best thing about this figure. And then we have a toe hinge. That works well enough. Not the best design, but it's stiff and it looks like it'll actually provide some support, so that's okay. So, final thoughts on this figure. If you don't like Naruto, don't even think about buying this. If you do like Naruto, then think about it and then decide not to. It's a pretty lousy figure. Do not recommend it at all. Very few things that are even good about it. Most things are worse than not good, so I don't recommend it. I will pose it around at the end so you can see what it looks like. And if for some reason you decide you do want to buy this, I would check out Big Bad Toy Store. I think these are in stock. Last time I looked, they were, but I don't know if they are or not anymore. So check out Big Bad Toy Store, link in the description, see if you can get one if you want to for some strange reason. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.